Welcome to Tim's Chefy Tips. So tonight I'm going to show you two things. First of all, I'm going to show you how to make short crust pastry, and then we're going to use that short crust pastry to make a quiche. So if you come here, the ingredients for a short crust pastry, it's plain flour there, and then we've got half the amount of flour to butter. You can use margarine if you so wish. So we put that in there, right? And that is half the amount. So the flour was 200 grams. The salted butter was 100 grams. And I'm going to put a little bit of dried mixed herbs into the mix, right? And then we moisten it and bring it together with normal water. Now I've rubbed the fat into the flour and it's got like a sandy texture, and I've also greased the quiche container there with a little bit of butter. So what I need to do here is that I need to add a bit of water. So I make a well in the middle, and we put a little bit of water at a time because I'm not quite sure how much this flour will glug up the water. So that's like a little handful, and then we'll take it from there. So I've added the water, and what I've got here is that I've got the pastry. You don't want to work it too much like bread because the gluten makes it quite tough. So I'm just letting that rest, put it into a cold place or a fridge. So I'm just going to put this in a cold place. And now let's bring you to the quiche. So when the pastry's ready, I'm going to roll it out and put it in this flan dish. But because it will bubble up, we need to put a weight in it. So this is what we call it. It's a chefy term, it's a cartouche. So we've got baking parchment or greaseproof paper. It's basically just a bit bigger than the flan dish. Okay, so we do a little bit of origami. I fold it in half. Okay, and then I fold it in half again, bearing in mind that this corner is going to be the middle. All right, so we do that again and again. Right, so this goes on top of the pastry when I've rolled it out. We measure it there, okay, and then because we want the pastry to come up the side and over, I'll measure it about there. Get some skizzers on it. Like that. And that goes in when we've done the pastry. So that's the next stage. Right, so here's the pastry. I've rolled it out. And then you see that I'm rolling it up onto the rolling pin. Then we've got this buttered greased flan dish, and then I very gently roll it over the top, okay, and then we're easing the pastry down into it like that, nice and easy because we don't want it to break. Now what I'm going to do, I know some of you will say, right, okay Tim, you're going to roll the top off. Well, over the top of the pastry. Well, actually I'm not, because I'm just going to cut some of the pastry off round the side here. You will see once I've made the quiche that the pastry over the side we can cut off when it's cooked. You get a better end product. Right, so that's that. We just push that down. Now, like I said, the pastry will rise up if I was to put that in the oven now. Now, we have the cartouche. which sits in there nicely. And then we've got some bacon beans or pebbles or stones. You can use dried beans, like dried red kidney beans. It will hold it all down. Now that will go in the oven. I'm going to put it on a tray. It makes it easier for maneuvering it in and out of the oven. And we'll put that in the oven. We'll do it for 20 minutes and see how it does. All right, thank you. So we're on to the next stage now. This is the filling. So we're going to fry off this dry cured bacon. I'm going to take some of the fat off and I'm going to render that in the pan first. Then we got sliced mushrooms. We've got some sliced shallots there, right? Salt and pepper. And then we've got some lava bread. Now lava bread is, this particular one is dried seaweed. Very popular here on the borders because we're right close to Wales. The South Walians actually love it. So we got some grated cheddar cheese. And then that's all held together with an egg custard, right? So this is normal semi-skim milk. You can use whole milk. And 2 eggs. Now 2 eggs need to go into half a pint. If you were doing a bigger one, it's always 4 eggs to the pint. So because we're using half a pint, it is 2 eggs. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fry this off in the frying pan, get it cooked down, and then we go on to the next stage where we put it together into the flan dish. Okay. So I've just taken the pastry out. As you can see, it's cooked out here, but it's not quite cooked in the middle because of course we've had the beans on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently take that off because it's red hot and then pop it back in the oven for 5 minutes. So this quiche has been in the oven for 25 minutes. We give it another 5 minutes without the paper and the beans. Right, the blind pastry case has just come out. So you can see there, that's all set. Now, I've fried the bacon and the onions and the mushrooms, right? Remember the salt content because we've got salt in the lava bread. Cheese is well salted, and then we've got the bacon. So what we shall do, oh, I've just thought of something else. Right, I forgot the mustard, so I'm putting 1 decent spoonful there, and then we spread it out. This is English mustard. So for our American friends, because it's yellow, it's not like your mustard. This is red hot. So we're very careful. This is Coleman's mustard, very, very well known in this part of Europe. Right, okay. So we've got that there, and then we go back to putting our filling. This has already been fried, and all those lovely flavours from the bacon. And again, I use that spoon. We'll spread that out. Make sure we get it in the corners, because when we have a slice of this, we want to make sure that we get a bit of everything in there. Right. So I'll put my finger in there. We do that. Now, remember this lava bread, this is dried. So we're just going to put a little bit on it. We don't want to put too much. Very, very salty. A bit more, because this is to taste. All right. Again, like I said, this is dried. And then we've got grated cheddar cheese. Of course, you can use any hard manchego or Emmental. So that all goes there. This is the bulk of it. This is what makes it set, the cheese. So I'm being quite generous here. I'm actually making this the day before we want it, so it'll have a nice time to set in the fridge. Now, remember what I said about the custard? The egg custard, the savoury egg custard. That's 2 eggs and half a pint of milk. All right. So then we carefully pour that in there. It probably won't take all of this, but let's see. What I'm going to do, a little knack, is that I'm going to put it in the oven and then add some more egg custard, because it will make it easier for me to balance it. So that's there. I'll try to get it up as much as I can. This is when you find out whether your oven is level. It's actually taken all of that, and very carefully we'll put that back in the oven. We'll give that 25 minutes and then see how it's doing. So here we have the quiche. Now that's been in the oven for nearly 40 minutes. Now you remember what I said earlier about having it lapping over. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just gently, with my knife, just cut those bits off. I will do this and then show it later. Okay, this is the quiche. It's taken quite some time, but you can do the base at a lot earlier. So this is bacon, mushrooms, cheddar cheese with a little bit of Welsh lava bread and English mustard quiche. Enjoy.